I grew up in Owatonna, Minnesota, and I have 3 younger siblings. I was the oldest, and my mom was a physician. My dad was a stay-at-home dad, and I was encouraged pretty early on not to go into medicine, just because I think it took her away from us a lot, but it gave me a lot too, and I think I saw it early on that I really wanted to be a part of the community like she was, and to be so I don't know, in touch with what was happening through the workforce and people's lives, and definitely their health. And so I early on knew that I wanted to go to med school, so I chose something a little more relaxed for undergrad, and I went to St. Olaf. I was a chemistry major there, which is relaxed for me. Physics would have been a little strenuous for me, I think. And a chemistry major there and a religion minor, and then I went on to go to the University of Minnesota for med school. And I was up in the cities for residency as well, so I'm a Minnesota gal. Don't know a lot of the communities around Mankato, but I'm learning fast. I'm really enjoying it. Family practice to me was that way to get a really diverse population of people that I see. I didn't want to be bored day in and day out. That's the selfish side. The less selfish side was just because I think that primary care is incredibly needed in a lot of communities that I wanted to be in. I wanted to be in a smaller community. I didn't want to be, downtown, big city, urban area. Where I grew up, this feels like home. And so I wanted to pick a place that needed that primary care. And so it's also very freeing for me to not always have to have the exact answer, but have such a good group of specialists that I can rely on to know that 5 or 10% of that area that I have no idea. So family medicine was that nice balance of getting to know a lot about people, a lot about diseases, but not necessarily pigeonholing into one area. I chose to do OB mostly because I really like all aspects of women's health, which was important piece of it, because that's a big chunk of people's lives, very important piece of people's lives. And I love dealing with kids, and so to keep the pediatric population in my practice, I think that was a really important piece. Plus I love procedural stuff. I had considered surgery for a long time, and I wanted to keep some of that procedural stuff in my practice. And it's wonderful to be in Mankato Clinic with the small group of us that do OB, because it gives enough support that we can help each other with each other's patients and not get burnt out, but also we get really the hands-on, get to follow a woman throughout her whole pregnancy, and maybe even if we're lucky enough to take care of the baby afterwards, we get to see the whole process. It's incredibly fun to be there when a woman finds out that she is pregnant. Some of them are surprises, and some of them are so much anticipated and wished for. Either way, it always ends up being a very personal conversation and an excited one. It's hard not to get ahead of ourselves. I love talking to them about what are their desires for the pregnancy, delivery, all that. But usually, the ideal is when I start, I find out they're pregnant, and then we see each other, we meet for a first obstetrical visit, and we do kind of that more intensive exam, and but that's the time that I really get to know what the family makeup is, what kind of household is there, what kind of parenting are they hoping to do, and that's a great opportunity. What I do like about just the flow of my work right now is it allows for some of that to be extended into the antepartum visits, the later ones. I think I came from a system that cut those really, really short, and now I get to spend a little more time with people because, as a lot of women know, and dads out there, that pregnancy comes with a lot of surprises and a lot of questions, and so I try to look at each antepartum visit as an educational piece. I always try to pick out something that we can learn. I can learn from them, they can learn from me. About pregnancy, about parenting, about their bodies, because Lord knows that they change quite a bit. Being a mom, I have 2 little girls. They're pretty young yet, but I've been a parent long enough now it's not only changed my OB practice and my peds practice phenomenally, just by listening to my patients a little bit more about their little tricks for sleep things and passing that on to other patients, which has been really nice. It also has just affected, in general, my practice. I think being a parent teaches you to be a lot more flexible, a lot less by the book necessarily, and just a lot more open to alternative treatments, alternative ideas of psychological and physical health. As a physician, I'd love my patients to be comfortable with my laid-back style for the most part. I try to be efficient because I want to get in there as soon as I can to each patient, but I really like taking the time to get to know them a little bit. That doesn't mean, that they can expect any less from the medicine side of it, but I hope it adds a little piece to, I pick up on little things that other people who haven't spent that time with them in family medicine wouldn't pick up on. Just that, well, for one person, a 3 out of 10 pain is very different than another person's 3 out of 10 pain. So those kind of things. I want my patients to be really open to the idea of honesty and transparency both ways. If it's a bad day, what's going on, or what I can do to help. If I don't ask the question, offer it up.